Welcome to episode 310 of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. I am Dave Deacon, and have we got a really fun episode for you. Today on the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast, we're talking about surviving grad school, dropping expensive research drones from the sky, and jumping terraces with combines, and what goes through your mind when you actually lay one on the side. I mean, the whole combine flipped. But before we do that, go ahead and bump that subscribe button where you get your podcast. And remember, you can find all of the information that we talk about on this episode and past episodes as well on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. As always, we start with a quick trip around the table for an introduction to the dream team of dirt and everything that grows from it. Let's start with Oklahoma State University Extension Precision Nutrient Management Specialist.
Funny thing was, after the combine goes over, I think we're riding home together, then he starts telling me about all the other things that are less bad now. Because at the time, they were the most bad.
Dr. Brian Arnell. And across from him is Oklahoma State University Extension Cropping System Specialist.
Well, and I always tell students that really you're done with academic knowledge when you start your master's. I'm teaching you how to do science. And then like Brian said, is you apply it so that first year's or that first degree, your master's, is how well you can adapt to learning science. Your PhD is how much grit you have. Can you dedicate your life to the science now?
Dr. Josh Lofton. Now that all the formalities are out of the way, let's just dive into it. You are listening to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. Brian, go ahead and introduce our guest.
All right, so excited to have on our podcast today Dr. Sharry. Dr. Sharry has been with my program for a couple years now. He's postdocing with me, but he is a proud native of Hinton, Oklahoma. Yeah, he's doing what you can't see, our dear audience, is Raiden trying to count on his fingers how many years he's been with me, and I think he ran out of fingers.
He's going to have to take his shoes off.
Right, right. Move on to toes.
But Raiden's an Okie native, has been at Oklahoma State for a while. Ended up doing school, transition a couple programs. So I'll let him kind of get into more of his background and the path he chose. But thought it'd be fun today. One, Raiden's a great agronomist, and we can always talk about some of the work that he's done and looks forward to doing, but also just kind of the path of what is grad school, what's it like, and kind of that scenario. So, Raiden, you want to tell everybody kind of a little bit about you, your upbringing, and how you ended up, I guess, where you're at today?
So first off, happy to be on. I guess kind of start off with, grew up on a cow-calf and starter cattle and farm kind of mess, to be blunt, down in central northern Caddo County, and graduated high school at Hinton. And at that time decided I was going to be a football coach and, make it big, be the next Nick Saban. And
You got the headset today, so
you did. You're getting close. I feel like I'm playing Farm Simulator on Xbox now. You can't flip those combines, right?
There's so much to dive into this already.
It's a mess.
Sorry to get you off your track.
No, you're good. You're good. Anyway, so moved up to Alva, Oklahoma to go to school at Northwestern Oklahoma State University, as typical, chasing a relationship and things. And got up there, got all the way to my student teaching semester, and decided I didn't know what I was doing and wanted to make marginally more money for significantly more work. So, anyways, during that time, I had been working for Kent Martin, farming up there kind of around Tacoma, Carmen area, just with his farming operation, wheat, sorghum, cattle. And he got me on with Brian here. Had gone to grad school with him through Bill Ron's program, and kind of told me that I needed to be doing more with my life, just to be kind of blunt about it. and so I transferred, and I decided, I like to play with numbers and I like money, so let's just do ag econ, right? Economics, do some cool things there, and went through undergrad, struggled through that, and kind of found my way while I was working as a undergrad research assistant under Brian. got on with there were some great grad students at that time in his program, really kind of took me in and kind of gave me a love for science that I didn't know existed coming out of my high school and college at Alva. And so transitioned into a master's program, and kind of the rest is history. Worked with some cotton soil pH work and some G/N management and wheat, and still kind of picking apart things to go on.
So an important aspect is why I hired him in the first place. And so I hope he listens to this podcast. I doubt it, but Dr. Kent Martin. So when Kent called me and said, hey, I've got this kid that's worked for me for 2 years, I think you should hire him. Anybody that could put up with Kent, I knew was going to be of value to hire, just because Kent and I did do undergrad together, and I was getting my PhD down here at Oak State when he was getting his PhD at K-State under... Basically, we're in the same programs at different universities. So knowing that, and that's really a lot of the kids we get, and so that's kind of part of this conversation. A lot of the kids we get as an undergrad or even in a master's, I haven't put out an advertisement for a student, I don't think, in my career. So it comes from people. Like I get a call, hey, I got this kid that needs a job, hard worker, she will do good. And so I bring him on. Half of those never leave me. They stay from undergrad on through grad. And even the grad students all come from, if I look at the history of who I have on my program right now, so I've got one who I kind of brought in as a non-recruit, but everybody else either came up through my program as an undergraduate or was recommended by a former graduate or colleague. And even the ones I'm bringing on a new gentleman in January. He comes from a guy that I did school with and is in industry now and got his degree under Dr. Ron. So it's kind of fun that, at least in our field or what we're doing. Josh, when's the last? Have you advertised for students in your career?
I did back when I was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But here, no. My students go out and recruit for me.
Right.
They just say, hey, you got any more money that you can pay somebody? And because we're hiring this person, they don't really give me an option anymore. So
yeah. Our recruitment process, we bring, and I think Josh may do the same. I bring kids to campus. I spend 2 or 3 hours with the recruit. The rest of the time is with the grads and the undergrads in the program, because they basically have to make the hiring decision, because they're going to be living day to day with that person.
Like, I haven't had a graduate student that hasn't worked through the program. Like, I haven't gone and got like somebody else's undergrad and have come through, because I mean, realistically, me and Brian are both kind of hard to work with. So I want to make sure that they can work in the system. And being part of the system is almost more important than, academic intelligence and stuff like that. Because, grad school is hard. Working through grad school.
Mentally hard.
Mentally and physically very challenging. And so being able to kind of integrate in that system is almost more important than anything else. So,
and grad programs differ dramatically even within our own department.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I, and probably even Phillips, tend to probably run similar type programs, larger programs, very integrated programs, very hands-on programs. Well, there are other programs that, 1 or 2 students for a professor, and then that student maybe even focusing only on his or her own work. While, Raiden, all my kids, all Josh's kids, they come out and can say, we worked with every crop and every project, and the diversity of their background is pretty broad.
Well, and like Raiden can speak to this, because I know you've had some, but the interpersonal relationships, we call them little work families, but they are, because you have good times and bad times, and you yell at each other, and then you have good times together at national meetings, and
get the sock and blow out, boxing gloves, and just give one to the chin every once in a while.
You do, and it's got to be like that, because sometimes during the summer, we're spending 12, 14, 16 hours a day with each other 5, maybe upwards of 6 times a week. So, I mean, during peak season, you almost spend more time with your crew than you do family sometimes. And so it has that same relationship. And so that integration is really important.
Family is a critical word because it's really like sibling rivalry. And sometimes the siblings do not play well.
Right.
And sometimes they
sometimes they even live together.
Even live together. Right. I mean, and the crazy thing is that his daily conversations with people within any given week probably include, every one of my grads that came out in the last 4 years, he's probably in a conversation with on a weekly basis. And there's profs out there, there's industry people out there that he's communicating with. So, well, Raiden, I'll ask you this. Undergrad, you said you kind of got that. What made you pull the trigger for a master's and then go that additional? What was that decision to pull the trigger for a master's and then make the really kind of time commitment for the doctoral program?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, like I said, I already kind of said, those former grad students that kind of brought me in, but it was getting the opportunity to be in the field, being, farming, tiny farming, and pursuing the science and thinking that we can improve things. That's kind of what it came down to is, I want to help people. I want to learn, be the next step in agronomy, whatever that comes to. But whenever I came to my master's, I had no plan to get a PhD. Not until at least a year in was I really thinking about it. And it was just, I kind of fell in love with research. That was really the part of it, applied research at that. And so making that step from, football coach, economist, some other stuff probably mixed in there, maybe astronaut, then over to agronomy as a master's student, and then making that decision to PhD. It was not something I had planned at all in my life. And I can tell you that if you talk to my teachers in high school, they would have said, you can't sit still through my class for 30 minutes. Yeah. What are you doing? And so it just took time and being around the right people. That's so important. And I would encourage, undergrads or high schoolers coming to school, find work experience. You might have to take, you could probably go to Atwood's here in Stillwater and make more money working, but the relationships and things that you build by working at the university in a field that you're familiar with or interested in, it's invaluable. And so I would encourage anybody that's coming into school that might be listening to take advantage of those opportunities, even if it is a little bit of a pay doc early on. It can pay off big in the end.
Well, and part of that is you still get, a 15% discount at Atwood's if you work there. So, I mean, it all balances out.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything you need at Atwood's.
No, he's saying that with us as a pay doc. Not with Atwood's.
Yeah,
you're just making yourself for Atwood's over us.
I was just like, hey, I would work at Atwood's if they gave me a 15% discount.
It's a pay doc to come work with us.
Right.
You're working at McDonald's. So come work
and it will be harder than, a lot of times than, going loading feed sacks and stuff like that. But if you look at the big picture in the long term, the opportunities it can provide is endless, and I'm seeing that kind of come to fruition now, and it's been really exciting and humbling at that too.
We've been talking a lot about the work side of it, but there's also the study side of it, and you're getting to create your own experiments and work through those in, with some of the great minds.
Yeah. I was about to say, choose your words wisely.
The available minds.
Thank you. It's all in the wording, and you did that. But I mean, you're able to expand your mind in that matter too, and not only just work for these guys, but also learn from them and advance your career too.
Yeah, it's just coming to that point in your life, and I think everybody does. Some people, at age 12, they're going to Harvard, right?
Right.
And other people, you get to college, and all of a sudden you see, school's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like to learn. It's this, you can, setting yourself up for perpetual learning for life.
Yeah.
That was something that was stressed to me as a kid, and I didn't ever understand until I got older. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. So, Brian, kind of talk about how how you work with the students in those situations. Do you just say, guess what, you will become a soil nutritionist just like me, or do you like really kind of dig in to see what their areas of expertise could be?
A little bit. Everybody has to be tailor-made. Kind of like Josh said, this is we have big families with big personalities and lots of personality differences in games. One thing I'd say, like one thing that we get, Josh and I both, because we're really active in the field, I had 50, 80, 100 hours of road time with Raiden as an undergrad.
Yeah.
And just the way he would ask questions along the way, I knew that he could be good in science, right? He asks a lot of questions, but every student comes in different. So when they come in, I don't even assign major products right off the bat or projects. Sometimes I've got to have things done. Like we get money, they get done. And so my master's, one aspect, you bring a student in for a master's and you're teaching them science. You're teaching them how to do science. Often we are assigning them projects that are what we're funded for. The grants, the commodity groups, the people tell us what we need. These master students are coming in and doing that. And they get their own freedom, but we're teaching them science at that point. Right. The doctoral program for me is they have to implement the science that we taught them. And so there's a whole nother level. And they have to do what is their funding from, and then they get freedom to do other things within our budgetary restraints.
Right.
And like we had a former student just was all about doing N15, and I said no. I mean, it wasn't really budget. I just didn't want to do it. And so you have those, but within about, I don't know, for about 3 to 6 months in, I try to get a feel, okay, is this somebody who has desire to go further in academia? Is this somebody who is going to be more along the lines of NRCS, OCC, that governmental, or even NOC as a teacher? Or is this somebody that's going to move through industry at any level? And depending on where I think they're looking to end up, I put them into more of an extension-based applied program, maybe a little bit heavier research-based program if I think they're going to be an academic. Like with Raiden got a very applied research because for the first year, he wasn't sure. He wasn't even thinking academic. So he got an applied research program that could tie some economics with some agronomy. And then when he got to a PhD, we took it to another level and made it a very research-heavy program. But I don't know. It takes some movement. It takes a little bit of learning. And I try to, but sometimes the funding forces us into certain directions where I don't have full freedom at a master's level. Josh?
I mean, we're different. I mean, I can't wait on most students. Usually I need a little bit more years or I'm restricted on being able to go out and do things. So usually I tell a master's student, you're going to prove something that I already know.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, in science, we anecdotal, we talk to growers, we've seen it out in the field. And so it's like, I'm 75 to 90% sure what's going to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to go through the iteration to prove it. And so it's usually I know the outcome. And so when we tell students that when they go in, they know more about a project than anybody else in the room, sometimes a master's level, that's not true because I've walked every step with them and I probably knew what was going on before they did. And we do that because I can't have it fail. 2 years is incredibly short. Considering that most of the time for our students, it takes them a good six to 9 months to write. So now you take 24 months and you're taking 9 months out of that because they need to write. So they need their data already in front of them to do that. It usually takes them 2 months to like look around and figure out what's going on. So now you've taken 24 months and now you have 13 months and that's all you have. And so that's kind of how I do masters. PhDs, I give them one project. I said, this is kind of what you got funded for. So you have to do it. But, you have to add on to it and then you have to create your own project. And I was like, as long as I can fund it, we can do it. And my PhDs right now are getting really, really into that. I think one of mine, Josie, I know she's going to listen, but she is coming up with a new project every about 4 months. And I told her, you have a limited amount of time and chapters you can have. So I was like, it's great. She really has fallen, and it's another one that came into a master's, terminal master's. I'm not going past a master's, and has just kind of grown into that applied research, and just has like embraced it as much as she has, and just kind of went with it. So we do things a little bit different just because our fields, and I think that's really where you see the difference in some of the fields, is how we have to handle our students, because our projects and like the expectations to publish are so very different between some of our programs, that it kind of makes our handling of students as an overall very similar, but like the intricacies behind it are fairly different.
That's one thing that my time here has afforded me, is that most of my masters don't come in and start a project. Most of my masters come in with I already have a year of data on a project. Yeah. That also helps with the failure, right? So we get a couple turns, and by the end of a master's, even if I have a complete crop failure on a year, they still get 2 years of data.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a PhD with Bill, we had an undergrad or a master student that had 2 crop failure years in a row. Wow. And so he had 0 yield data from 4 site years. Or 6.
Gwendolyn had that as well.
Yeah. So
for her master's.
Now, kind of like Josh, I don't think there's a master's that I've done in the last 4. I mean, I knew what was going to happen at a pH of 4 with cotton, with Radon.
Yeah, I mean, very. We could see it on the wall.
Yeah. So I wouldn't disagree with that. As the master's is kind of, you want a good data set so they don't feel discouraged,
and that's the thing. Giving a master's student a messy data set is just a recipe for disaster. And what we call a messy data set is something that might have, maybe due to environmental conditions, it responds this way one year, and then the next year it responds this. You want something that's just clean, crisp, and just utterly clear, because they're just learning science.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to overwhelm them by giving them this really messy data set and then go figure it out.
Yeah. And young faculty tend to even do it more than we do. But seeing a master's student with 25 treatments and 5 different factors is usually.
But even on that front, you take a student and you say you have 13 months, best. They don't really figure out how to even analyze their data. Because we don't have really statistical curriculum in a lot of our undergrad studies, at least to the level we need it. That's another 6-8 months out before you even understand. And if to be honest, for me, if it wasn't for the other grad students that have done it, seen it, I would have been behind trying to get anything wrote, completed. I mean, all that stuff like that. So you come in as a master's, you're already delayed.
Yeah. Just
from the beginning, just because the nature of the beast.
I don't know how people with only 1 or 2 grad students
do
it,
either.
Because I rely, and they know it. I'm blunt with them that I rely on the elders to teach the children. It is, and we just had the kid coming in January. What email did I send out that I copied you on?
Yeah, well, the question, what classes do I even enroll in first semester, and the question he always says, go ask them. Yeah. Go ask the students that are here that have seen it. And
we've never taken these classes.
No, that's true.
Yeah, and you don't know the professors necessarily.
15 years ago, the way it was taught might be very different. When me and Brian were taking these classes
years ago.
Well, I was trying to give you something.
I appreciate you. I love you.
But I mean, they were taught by different faculty. Yeah. They were taught. Maybe they're not even the same class anymore. And so it's like, you can ask me and I'll tell you what people normally take, but I don't know how much they liked it. Yeah. So go ask your other graduate students.
I mean, right now, the transition, we have some faculty in statistics moving on. The class I took 5-6 years ago is not the same one now at all. And it becomes challenging, but yeah, always, it's the students leading the students, the blind leading the blind sometimes. But it works out eventually.
Well, and it helps. Again, we talked about that family approach and that, like, again, going back to how people hold one graduate student or two graduate students, it's really the camaraderie around. I mean, if it's around this garbage that our professors making us do, we're all having to do it, and I hate it, but everybody's doing it. Or if it's a stats class that everybody hates, but you all signed up for it, so you kind of do that. And so, like, there's value in knowing that you're not in this alone.
It has been cool. I've been out on both of your guys' projects at different places around the state. It is so cool to see you interact with your with your grad students, and either banging their heads and trying to get them to do what you need them to do, or asking them questions, what they think, and really working on the science together. It's been really cool to see you guys do that.
Really glad we weren't mic'd up.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing is I think you can see it when you're training graduate students. I always tell the students, I'm not going to make you do anything I wouldn't do or I haven't done.
Yeah.
And so
except the scorpion. I remember you saying about the scorpion. It's a joke.
I don't mess with scorpions. So. But it goes to the same thing that it when people come out and don't know us and they can't tell who's the boss and who's not, that's the way you need to train grad students, because this is a tough field, and this is hard on your mental and your physical and everything. And those long days in June and July when you just have to hoe plots, and so there's certain times me and Brian have to be back here in the office, or else they're not going to get paid by the end of the month. But when you don't, you need to be out there with your crew, because you're just as much of the part of the family as any of them are. So,
and we can still outwork half of them half the time. I'm not wrong, am I?
Not usually. Now you get a little down in the back sometimes.
I do get down in the back.
Day one, he can outwork it up. Day two,
he can get that first bag of seed every spring. He can lift it after that.
Nah, you're not wrong.
I'm done.
I don't have the back anymore. That's for sure.
I know he wasn't out there.
Though.
Yeah, he wasn't out there mapping any cotton on the ground. He wasn't crawling through the field.
Hell no, I'm not mapping cotton. I've done that. There's a lot of things I can say I've done that. That's good enough. I've got the experiential learning.
You
now.
are an uphill both ways kind of guy. Every story gets a little taller hill.
It does. It has to, because you guys tend to make it a bigger deal every time.
Back in @1, back in the plow and
he was farming in the creek, not just next to the creek.
So I had to tilt that combine back up by hand. I didn't get a big tractor.
He didn't have no wrecker. That
had to use just the brawn of their back.
They had sticks and sleds.
We had a mule
So I have to ask, right?
Yeah.
So is that the biggest butt chewing you've ever got in your time here?
No, the biggest one was when I made Michaela call Brian that I wrecked the drone. I didn't call him because I knew I was going to get chewed. But the funny thing is, what he chewed on her was way less than she chewed on me. And let me tell you, the long ride home from from Altus back to Stillwater with a broken drone in the pickup and
no data.
No data, and it was that was the most important timing to fly, and government drones and spy birds, they're gonna knock them out of the sky sometimes.
We learned an important lesson that day, that a quadcopter, which means there's 4 propellers, doesn't fly well when only 3 are attached.
The bird knocked her off. I'm sticking with it now. I ain't backing off. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong. I don't care.
Spy birds.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Have you ever seen one? Really?
Yes.
Really? Did you check it under and make sure there weren't no batteries in it?
No, I did not go pester the babies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't chew him on at the combine at all.
No, he
was too freaked out.
He had enough.
I chewed on it myself as I fell, and then on the phone, I think he understood this was not a good situation.
So you got to tell the story now.
Oh, yeah. So we were finishing up. We had just finished wheat harvest around Stillwater. Last location, really, outside of some on-farm work. And I was bumping along, high gear, full grain tank, heading to dump. And I pulled up on maybe a 2% grade little slope, and had a Brazilian intern with me who was first time to be in a piece of equipment ever. Period. Yeah, never had been in a piece of equipment. And they decided to take a little hop and a skip, and away she went, falling over. And anyway, so we slammed to the ground, and there were some words, and we got out eventually. It all worked out.
Any combine you can walk away from is a good combine.
Yeah, and the
couple dollars later,
the day before, I was flipping the thing on terraces, risking it for the biscuit.
I don't know if that's appropriate, but
it can be cut.
I don't think so. I think it's staying in. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, whenever you think you would flip it, that's not when it goes.
No.
It's when you don't expect it, and so sure enough,
just 2 days before I was dumping at Perkins, and I pulled up to the grain cart, and I hit the auger, and the whole thing just leans over, and the auger's the only thing holding me up. The auger on the grain cart's the only thing holding me up, and then I emptied enough and just settled back in. So these little combines that we run, those red combines,
they're pretty top heavy.
They're you put a 60 bushel of grain, 70 bushel grain in it, because we fill up past where we're supposed to.
Oh, every time.
And it gets a little,
you need
some risky.
You need some Barbie training wheels on it.
You do.
That's what you need.
When you put the corn headers on, I always remember running with corn headers. That is your Willie bar going forward, because you don't have back weight, you have
That's
front
true.
weight. So you just kind of run that header and keep going.
just slam that thing on the ground.
you got to run it about 6 or 7 inches up. So you just kind of and then
kind of bop it.
Yeah, bop it.
Oh man.
So yeah, $39,500 later.
That's most of my salary, just saying.
So
not a complaint, but just saying.
So you're going to go work at Atwood's also.
I think over the last
I need
decade,
a lot more manuscripts.
The last decade, I've made up for it somewhere. Not there, though.
Not there.
If whatever positive you had, you are now net negative.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, most expensive grad student probably.
You weren't. That was Dr. Von Reed.
I was about to say, there's a reason why we vandalize things.
Oh, yeah.
But you did take over. It's like the last month. Like once you graduated, you got that certificate.
There was like a month that just everything went planters in pieces, tractor can't start, combine's on its side, everything's planted wrong, everything was bad. We're getting through that, though.
We're working through that slowly.
So I just want to follow up with that. Any career prospects after that? After that great warning of your mechanical capabilities?
The funny thing is I've been talking about jobs and things, and how many people already know the story of the flipped combine.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be hampering me any. It's just they won't let it go. Everybody knows it. It's funny. It got posted on Twitter, I think.
Yes, it did.
And people from Canada to Mexico knew.
Yeah.
Within an hour,
right,
of it happening. So it spreads like wildfire. They know it.
Your name's out there.
Yeah, you can't hide. You can't hide the mistakes.
Yeah.
We tell all the grad students, if you don't screw up enough to get a butt chewing, you didn't work hard.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta, if you're not breaking things or hurting yourself or whatever.
Oh, yeah. So the funny thing was, after the combine goes over, I think we're riding home together. Then he starts telling me about all the other things that are less bad now.
Right.
Because at the time, they were the most bad.
He set the bar.
We unloaded 8 years of nonsense on the way home.
That they were able to fix without telling
most
Brian.
of it was like falling off the top of the combine in the field at Bixby. That...
Really?
It's a long ways down.
Yeah.
The old soil fertility technician was in the combine. I crawled up on top of the bin to do something and stood up and slipped, and he was just sitting there looking out the door, and all of a sudden I just, woo! Sandburrs all in my back. He kind of stepped out and asked me, "You okay?" I said, "Nah." Need to get some Zaxby's.
Zaxby's.
It's okay. We all have that one, at least that one story from grad school
that's awesome.
that is told through the ages.
Well, so I'm getting texts. So they're out there, picking field 10 right now. There are no ears left because they've been stripped by coons and deer. So that's what happens with master's research.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Field 10 at the lake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jiminy.
3 ears per plot right now is what they're getting.
It's also too sticky to plant Magruder right now.
Yeah. Magruder's already planted. You mean
no, it
Choo
is.
Choo?
He tried to plant East Magruder.
Oh, okay.
And
this is what happens during the podcast. We're usually texting about field activities.
It's
and seeing what's
behind
going on.
Behind the sign over there.
Did you make a mess?
Yeah, I did.
His tortillas are everywhere.
Yeah.
Tortilla dust.
I'm prepping for the tech game, like Dave said.
Well, we ought to be watching the basketball game because we can't play in the evening anymore, apparently. We're down 5-8, I think. We're down 13-11. 13-11, so, yeah.
Yeah, I found that out the other day. The kids at the elementary school took a tour to go watch the basketball game, and I'm like, we play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon nowadays?
Yeah, we're in that bad TV slot.
Yeah.
It's rebuild.
The kids over in Perry, they come over in the 6th grade for the women's basketball games.
Our kids couldn't because we couldn't get a bus driver to take them over to the basketball game.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want me.
So, Brian and Josh, whenever folks are looking at, going into a graduate program, master's, PhD, what advice do you have for them for getting into the program?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it. Is the best thing to do is come at least for a summer or 6 months or something like that. Come work in the program.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody's got a bachelor's degree, so everybody should be able to garner the science and stuff like that. So it's fitting into the program that is ultimately the most important thing to do. And I mean the work and the knowledge that you need is very different from an undergrad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm not saying everybody starts out at zero.
Yeah.
But pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Everybody's back online of that. Okay. And that's the biggest thing is that I tell my students, go to classes, learn everything in classes, but you're going to learn the most out in the field.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like how you did in, U.S. history doesn't matter to me. Heck, how you did in his class really doesn't matter to me. And
if you're mine, it matters to me. But no.
Yes. But, it's how well do you work in the field? Do you work hard? And can you adapt that knowledge that you learned in the classroom out in the field? Because that's that next step. There are some really intelligent people that can really whiz through and get really good grades out here, but can't take that step of adapting it from a general knowledge to an applied knowledge.
Right.
And at least in our program, that's.
I mean, I think it's less about your ACT score, more about the grit.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to. Is grad school is not that hard, in my opinion, academically.
Mm-mm.
It's all about pushing through and sticking with it, getting along with people.
Yeah.
All the intangibles.
Yeah.
You want a grad student like you want a quarterback. So.
Well, and I always tell students that really you're done with on academic knowledge when you start your master's. I'm teaching you how to do science.
Yep, absolutely.
And then like Brian said is you apply it so that first year's or that first degree, your master's, is how well you can adapt to learning science. That second one, I always tell students, you no longer have to learn about science. You did it. You're just doing it all over again.
Right.
Your PhD is how much grit you have.
Yeah.
Can you dedicate your life to the science now? And that it's not for everybody.
No.
And it takes a lot.
I would go back a little bit on if you want to do grad school learning. So I don't expect we have a lot of high schoolers listening to Red Dirt. I mean, who knows? But I do know there's some parents and some grandparents out there, and so this is what I say is that your kids don't know where they want to be, so they need to take advantage of the open door policies of the faculty members and see who's teaching and come visit with them.
Yeah.
Most of us are around at some point and just say, hey, this is what I like to do. What are you up to? And then go even further and say, hey, do you have a job? Mm-hmm. And we almost all support undergraduate research. So they don't even have to have a job with us, but they do a small research project with us. And a lot of times those research projects turn into jobs.
Right.
But they get right there off the bat. They get that experience with the grad students. Yep. They get to see, it's not what maybe, if you watch Big Bang Theory, it doesn't look like that. It's vastly different, and the experience is what it's about.
And when you're done, your last name becomes PhD.
If you want it to be. I'm still trying to keep people from calling me that.
Well, cool. Well, Raiden, thanks for going on with us on the Red Dirt Agronomy podcast, and it's been really cool to learn about your journey through grad school.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Before we go, I do want to ask him one thing. Okay. I want to bring it back because I know he was going to be on here, so I was going to bring it back.
Okay.
So we just got done with our national meeting.
Yeah.
Raiden had a great talk.
Oh.
About a 3/4 of the way through it, he said, it's time to bring back tillage.
I
readdress the subject. What was the?
You used the wrong years.
Yeah,
that's brave. Other than that,
no, I think I was more on the years than maybe. We don't know for sure. Maybe that's the way to put it.
I think you're just a little aggressive.
I am an aggressive person. That is for sure when it comes to stuff like that.
I tell you, we push our students to be front with what they think they're finding. Mm-hmm. Raiden's never had that issue.
No, I'm going to tell you what it is and
pull
how
back,
I think.
Pull it back.
Yeah.
So as a coach, you would go ahead and run it up the middle.
I'm an aired out guy.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
No, he's only running the ball 2 times all game. Yeah. Everything else is a pass.
Send it down.
He runs 7 Hail Marys during the course of just normal.
I'm not that bad. A lot of deep crossers and little bit of mesh concepts, a little bit of drive concepts.
Right.
Anyway, no one knows what I'm talking about at this point. But yeah, that talk, we were talking about stratification of nutrients and soils, kind of not only just nutrients, pH, organic matter, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen. And the conversation really goes back. We've been seeing no-till, we're going on what in Oklahoma, really 30 years of no-till, approximately on some of our fields. What no-till for all the things that it's great about it, it provides as ecosystem function and all these things. Is there a point where we're seeing so much stratification of these nutrients, organic matter, pH? What about weeds? We've been in no-till that weed seed is redeposited year after year on that surface. I think there's a point where we need to be reintroducing tillage at opportune times. Whether that's actually the moldboard plow or a different approach is a whole other thing. And the timing of it, I think in that talk I said every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, you did.
If I was my great granddaddy, it'd be every 6 months. So we're getting better. And it's kind of funny on that topic. I remember when I was a kid, my dad and my uncle were effectively renting the farm from my great grandmother. And when they decided to stop moldboard plowing, she chewed them for hours at the house while I was sitting there eating Little Debbie's. And I'll never forget it. And it was just hilarious that they wanted to kind of, to them was a big step conservation-wise. And it was still running a chisel, a disc harrow.
Right.
This just stop moldboarding. And so I just think that there's a point where we need to be kind of reconsidering some of that old technology. And maybe there's some function in it after all that maybe we kind of shoved aside in search of some other value from no-till or reduced tillage and things like that on that front. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. Well, but the funny thing is it's something that we've been talking about in the state for a while is that, okay, let's not go back to continuous tillage. But when we go into issues with resistant weeds, when we're going into issues with this nutrient stratification and all these things, is that, and we've found there's data from Kansas, there's data from us, there's data from Texas now that one till event every like 5 years is not going to set you back to where you were at the beginning. But you would have thought he would have said the most radical opinion in that room because the gasps in that room when he's like, I think we need to bring back tillage.
Were, and not just tillage, the moldboard plow.
Oh boy.
You know, that was what the picture, and I said it. And I mean, it's all, and it goes back, a lot of people talk about, you know, soil carbon and storage and stuff. If we have buildup of carbon in the upper, you know, inch, 2 inch the profile, we might be better off burying that, stabilizing in the system. And there's a lot of research going on about in that field obviously right now, and so there's lots of things that we need to kind of reevaluate, I think, and I think a lot of people are doing that, especially on the applied agronomy side.
First time I dropped that suggestion was about 5 years ago at a Ohio CCA with 500 of them in the audience.
I'm surprised
significant regenerative ag and others, and I just said we're bringing back the moldboard, baby.
Get the band back together. We're going to get the 40-20 out, the 4-bottom, and just run her down.
They didn't run you out of the room.
Yeah.
Well, I did, and in fact, I gave that part of that talk at Indiana CCA last year, and kind of had the same response. Kind of.
I wanted to bring that back because that was the best thing I think from that meeting, from a shock value thing, was a little postdoc telling a big meeting hall, let's bring back some tillage.
Yeah, slap him across the face with the glove, wake him up a little bit.
I got to say, you're pretty good at making a mark on things.
If that's all I can do, I'll be all right.
Should see the mark of that Massey Ferguson.
They're going to remember.
Thank you for listening in on this conversation of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. And if you'd like to join the next discussion, send us an email, podcast@reddirtagronomy.com, or just send us a tweet. Our handle is RedDirtAg. We'd like to thank Dr. Reid and Sharry for joining us on the podcast today. And if you get a chance, visit our website, reddirtagronomy.com, to find out more information about our guests and any of the resources that we discussed on today's podcast or previous podcasts. For Dr. Josh Lofton and Dr. Brian Ernell, I am Dave Deacon, and we all want to thank you for listening. The proceeding is a copyrighted recording of Ag Now Media, LLC, 2024. And yes, all rights are reserved.